What's up, crew excellence? I am back on the ones and twos. Super excited to be with you here at the Ladder Podcast. If you are new here, welcome. We happy to have you. And if you're a returner, welcome back, man. I missed you. Today, we jumping through the wall, and we're going to talk about how as leaders we can overcome, run through, or go around this wall that keeps us from our goals. But before we jump into any of that, I want to make sure you know where you at. The Ladder Podcast exists because we want you to be your best version of yourself. We think everybody's a leader, and we think that because you are a leader, you have an opportunity for greatness. You have an opportunity for excellence in whatever sphere of leadership you have. We don't want you to deny yourself that opportunity, and we want you to grow and to use skill to make your world and the world around you better for you and others. And so we know that you're in the right place because we know you're a leader. And if you just found out, welcome. All right. Now we're going to jump into the topic today because I think it's super dope. And I think it's something that all of us can use today. Right. So there is where you are now. Right. And there's where you want to go. This is for everybody, right? No matter if you want to be a billionaire or you just want to not live paycheck to paycheck. We all have a place where we're at now and a goal we want to achieve. And the obstacle that is in between us, right? That area in between where I am and where I want to go, we're going to call that the wall. Okay. The wall is what's keeping you from being who you want to be or where you want to be. And so the wall is just an obstacle. If you can envision, you want to go to another country, and you're in this country, there's a wall in between you and them. What do you need to get through, around, or over that wall? And so there's three ways, and I just kind of mentioned it, to get past this obstacle, right? You can go through the wall, you can go over the wall, you can go around the wall, okay? These are all different ways for you to achieve your goals, and we're going to jump into them. So first, we're going to start with going through the wall. Now, this is typically the hardest way out to go, but it is a way. And so when you go through the wall, what we're talking about is hustle culture, grind culture. We're talking about the ideal of outworking others, and we're talking about discipline and consistency. So going through the wall, it might take more time. Right? It usually does, but it isn't a lot more in your control of what you have now. So what I mean by that is to go through the wall, you don't really need any more resources. You just need to be disciplined and consistent with what you have. And so early mornings, late nights, those are things you already have the time, right? You get up early, go to sleep a little later, or right. So sleep less. So that now you're using your time instead of for sleep, you're using it to work on your craft, work on your goal. And it's about reps. It's just about getting repetition in on whatever that is. So if it's saving, I'm saving more often. So instead of me saving $100 a month, I'm upping it to $200 or $300 a month. And I'm just going to cut out eating out 3-4 times a week, right? You don't eat out once a week. And so the money that I was going to go eat out, now instead of going and giving to McDonald's, I give it to myself, right? And so I just increase my repetition of what I'm already doing, okay? And I just increase my production. So if that's content creating, if that is working out, if that is I wanted to be a better father or husband, I increase my production. I take what I have and I get more out of it. So that means if I want to work out, I get more reps, so I go to the gym more often, but I'm adding weight, okay? So I'm increasing my output. I'm increasing my production. And so we're going through the wall, right? We are head down, and that's the thing. When you go through the wall, you got to put your head down, and you just got to work. And this is a viable option to get past your obstacles and goals and we've seen it, right? One of my the people that I like, I talk about often on the podcast, LaRussell. LaRussell talked about how he was posting 5 times a day for 2 years, right? That's going through the wall. I'm just going to put so much content out there that you can't help but find me. You can't help but figure out who I am. I just heard another influencer She does like lifestyle fashion, not fashion, lifestyle travel content. And she was like, yo, I spent 8 hours every Sunday for a year and a half coming up with content for 3 times a day for the week. And so we talking about just working and working and working. And one thing I want to say is, like, if this is your mindset, this is fire. And if this isn't your mindset, this is still a tool you can use. You can become this person. You can become this work through the wall person. Okay. The thing is, as we get through, we're going to get to the other ways to get past this obstacle, get past this wall. It's not the only way to do it. And so I think sometimes with this option, with working through the wall, the people that are going through the wall or have went through the wall, call back on the other side and say, this is the only way to get there. And it's not. It is a viable option, though. And I think it's one that a lot of times we disregard because we don't think that it's effective. But it is. Like, if you put your head down and get to work, you can become what you want to be. I think one of my favorite books I've read is The Millionaire Next Door. And it's a book about how these people who don't have extravagant incomes but are millionaires. And the ideal behind, I think it's like 80% of them, 90% of them, is they make less than $100,000 a year. And they became millionaires in the early like 40s or 50s. And one of the things they did is they saved, they invested, they kept their head down, they went through the wall. And so it took time, but because they were consistently disciplined, they were able to get to the other side of where they wanted to be. All right. And so they drove the same car. They didn't buy the new car every time. They didn't buy a new house. Instead they took money and invested it. So the things that aren't as flashy. So this is the one that's not as flashy. OK, you don't get, you know what I mean? You got to wear a hard hat. Right. You got to be head down in the trenches. But if you are consistently disciplined, that's going to end up with you being successful. OK, you're going to end up where you want to be. Next one, you can go up the wall. This is for people who like to think, okay? So for my people who are like, I'll go get a degree, I'll go get a certification, this is for you. Going up the wall is gaining skill. So sometimes what's between you and your goals is knowledge. So you could work through the wall, but that would take you so much longer because you just need to know, you just need more information. It's not necessarily you need to do more work, you just need more information. For example, if you're making $100,000 a year, you can be a millionaire, right? If you learn the skills of financial literacy, right? If you learn how to invest, save, spend less than you earn, good debt versus bad debt. If you learn all these things, you can get there. You just need the skills. And so going up the wall is about gaining skills. Going to college is a great example of going up the wall. A lot of times between you and a stable life is a college degree. No amount of hard work, right, is going to make that. You got to go up the wall. You got to go get this degree. You got to go to class. And that's one thing I want to say. Going up the wall is still hard, right? This wall isn't short. You can't jump. You have to climb, right? This wall is still in between you and your goals. You got to go up it. And so it's not easy, but it's a different type of work. Gaining technical skills. Sometimes what you need is you be a content creator. You need to go to you need to take a certification course on editing, right? And learn how to edit videos because that's what's between you and your success. Your content is dope. What you're saying is dope, but it looks boring. So you need to learn how to use CapCut. You need to learn how to use Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere. Like, you got to learn a technical skill. And once you learn the technical skill, you'll be able to achieve your goal. You can hire coaches. Mental coaches, career coaches. These are people who have the knowledge, the wisdom to direct you, to challenge you, to help you think outside of the box or think differently about your problem or the obstacle, about the wall. And that can help you get up and over it. And then you go to conferences. This is something that I didn't realize when I was younger, but as I'm getting older, I'm starting to learn more and more and more. There's a lot of experts in fields that host conferences that if you went to them, you would have exactly what you needed. If you just invested some money and you got to a conference, even general admission, and you just got there and you were able to sit in a room and get that information that they don't put out for free, that they don't put in books. Like, there's stuff that they talk about in conferences because you pay for it that can change your life. That can, like you said, get you up and over the wall. Okay. So when you think about that, this is one thing about going up the wall that's different. So when you go through the wall, you're investing time. Okay. When you go up the wall, you're investing financial resources. And so going up the wall is going to cost you money. All right. So I want to be clear. When you go through the wall, it's going to cost you time. I talk about sleeping less, right? When you're going up the wall, you got to invest some bread. And so this might be, I'm going to get a second gig so that I can afford to go to this conference this year, right? So all the money from my second gig, I'm saving. This conference is $500. It's going to cost me another $500 to get there, another $300 to stay and eat. So I need $1,300. I'm gonna pick up a second gig for a couple months. I'm gonna take all that bread and I'm gonna put it into this conference. So when we talk about going up, we talking about investing money. So investing financial resources in your obstacle, in the wall, so that you're able to climb up it. Okay. And if you think about this, just in the that word, the analogy I'm using, boy, that word just escaped me. If you think about the analogy I'm using, to climb up a mountain or climb up a wall, you need equipment, and equipment is expensive. If you ever thought about serious mountain climbing, look up the prices for what it looks like to get real mountain climbing equipment. It's not cheap. And so going up the wall costs money. Okay. All right. Last one. Going around the wall, okay? Going around the wall, and the reason I think this one is uniquely a unique opportunity. When you go around the wall, we talk about building partnerships, hiring contractors, or finding people that want to invest their time and talent in your goals or in your dreams. And so what that looks like, right? And so it might be getting on Fiverr and hiring a person to design your website, right? So you need a website to sell your products. You don't have time to build a website, right? You don't have the time to learn how to build a website. So you hire someone to do it. And the reason I say this is going around the wall is because you still don't know how to build a website. You still don't have the skill. You still don't have the knowledge, right, to do it. And so if you need a website, you got to hire somebody else. But it is a way to get around an obstacle. It is a way to get around the wall. And what I love about it, especially when we talk about building partnership, is you are also helping other people, right? So if I build a partnership and I'm saying, hey, I got this obstacle, I need you and your skills can get me around it. They probably have an obstacle that you and your skills can help them get around as well. And so it's mutually beneficial, right? If I'm paying someone to do something, that's their business. I'm investing in their goals as well. And so when you go around the wall, it's a mutual beneficial arrangement between you and someone else that can get you closer to your goal. So we talked about investing, right? And so we talked about the first we use saving money or becoming a millionaire, right, as our goal. I'm where I am now. I want to be a millionaire. Going through the wall is me working 4 jobs, and I'm just putting all the money into my bank, and I'm just working. I'm gonna work 60, 70, 80-hour weeks. Okay, that's going through the wall. Going up the wall is me learning about investments. Maybe I study Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Maybe I start to learn about stocks and investments. And I gain the knowledge so that the money I do have, I'm able to invest and make it compound quicker. Going around the wall will be hiring a financial advisor. Okay? So you see how that works. So this the same obstacle, right, between where I am and where I want to be, but there's different ways for me to attack it. And the reality of it is you can do all 3. You can simultaneously do all 3 to get to your goal. You can work more, you can learn a skill, and you can hire somebody to help you with your goal. All of those are options. You don't have to pick one or the other. You can do 1 or 2. You can do 1 or 2 or 3, okay? But these are different ways to get from where you are now and to where you want to be and deal with the wall in between the two. Okay. And I want to give you these tools and give you these skills because I need you to be where you're supposed to be. One thing that I've discovered in doing leadership development is when leaders develop, everybody benefits. Okay. And so your family, your friends, your workplace, Everybody benefits. Your church benefits from you being a better leader, okay? And so I want to make sure that I'm doing my job to set you up for that. And so I'm going to go through the premise of this episode one more time. And I thank you for hanging out with me today. I know this year is about to, hey, I got some dope stuff coming. I'm super excited. But let's deal with the wall. Everybody listen to the podcast right now is in a spot with a desire to be in a different place. In between you and where you want to be is a wall. There's 3 ways for you to deal with this wall. You can go through it, invest in your time. You can go up and over it, invest in your financial resources. Or you go around it, invest in your relationships. Those are the ways you can deal with this wall between where you are and where you want to be. And I'm just going to tell you, man, I'm going to see y'all on the other side. All right. So thank y'all for hanging out with me today. As always, it's been a privilege and an honor. You could be anywhere listening to anything, but you're hanging out with me, and I do not take that for granted. As always, it's your host of the Ladder Podcast, Justin Strickland. And until next time, next week, I'll see you there. Peace.